everyone, welcome to my channel, The Transparent Homeschool. I am Beth and I homeschool two kiddos, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. We are just finishing up our first homeschool year. So this is the end of our first journey into homeschooling. And my channel is called The Transparent Homeschool because I feel like amongst homeschooling parents, we need to be super supportive of one another and just really open and honest about our journeys, because that's how we learn from other people and we can figure out, I heard this idea from this person or I saw this idea from that person. And you can kind of piece together what your homeschooling journey looks like. And so other people are a really great resource. Along with that, also failures, things that didn't work so well or just flat out were a flop. And today I am going to share one of those with you. Now, again, this is just me and my journey so far, and it is different for everybody. But this is just a huge failure as a first-time homeschooling parent that I had, that I wanted to share with you, in case you find yourself, in the same situation at some point. So, like I said before, this is our first year homeschooling, and one of the things that my husband and I decided was that it was probably best for me. I am a super type A personality, and I like check boxes, and I'm really organized, that probably an open and go curriculum was best for us. And so, what I found when we were looking at a bunch of curriculum is that there were a lot of choices for open and go curriculum. So the one that we ended up choosing was the Memoria Press. I'm going to do an end of the year review when we actually do finish our year. We have about 2 weeks left. But I will do a full review of what I thought about it, and if we're going to be using it next year or not. But what I really wanted to focus on today was scheduling, because I feel like this is kind of where first-time homeschooling parents get really stuck as far as like what to schedule during your day and how to do it and all of that stuff. Now, again, I am a very type A personality, and so when I went to make my schedule, I made an Excel sheet, and I made a really nice schedule, and I made time slots for each subject that we were going to do. But I was in this mindset still of I have to provide a schedule that is equal to that of a public school, which means every day you're doing so many subjects, and you have to every day you have to have a different special to do. And so when I was making my schedule, I really wanted to add in all of that stuff. On the front end, it looked really great, and I was really excited about it. And then I got about, and I've shared this before as part of my journey, but right in the beginning of our journey of the start of our school year, my husband and I found out we were expecting our third child. And so we were going really strong with the nice planned out schedule with all of the subjects that I had created. And we were doing a really good job, and everything was going super smooth. And then I started to just have those first trimester symptoms. And so the schedule that I had so diligently poured over and kind of obsessively, just became obsessed with, basically, almost completely crumbled. And so I talked about this before again. The minimum viable day became pretty much our norm. And if I will link the video where I talk about that in the comments, or in the description, the description below. But if you don't want to watch that whole video, basically the minimum viable day is a day where you kind of decide the minimum amount of subjects that you teach to where you feel like you did a good job that day, or that your children got a well-rounded education. And so pretty much during the first trimester, as moms, we're just, we feel awful. We have heartburn. We're tired all the time. We're nauseous. We have morning sickness or afternoon sickness or all sickness all day long. And it's just not going well for us. That was my case. All of those things together. But we basically skimmed back and we got rid of all of the extra things that I had planned. And we did language arts, which was like our phonics and reading, math, and our Christian studies, which included like our copybook and stuff. But man, I really felt at the end of that first trimester that I had made such a mistake at pouring so much energy and time into creating the schedule that I hadn't kept up yet. I just let it fall to the wayside, and I was basically surviving at that point. Well, the farther along in the pregnancy that I got and the farther along in our school year that I got, I really never picked back up with the schedule I had created. I did add in a few of the things that I found that my children really love to do, like read alouds and the arts and craft. We did add those back in. But everything else just completely, it didn't make it into the cut, basically. So what I wanted to do today is show you the schedule that I had created and basically kind of show you what we do now. So this was the nice, really great schedule that I had created. And it had the days of the week on the top. And then all of these nice timed sections here, right? And so that was my first big problem, is that I was putting time restraints on my children's learning. And at first, again, during like the first quarter, a lot of our curriculum was not that intense, and so it fit really well. Now, once we started getting into the second quarter, which was still part of my first trimester, the workload for phonics got really intense. And so at that point, I really was not able to spend 45 minutes at the school table on phonics like I had planned out. So it was just a really hard struggle to find that balance and to keep going based off of the schedule. So if you can tell, I don't know if you can, so first in the day we started off with phonics, and then we went with our enrichment topics, which would be like specials and things like that. And then I only did math 4 days a week, which I still do. And then over here I have presentations, which was basically practicing public speaking. And I was really passionate about this. And I just wanted my children to become really, I don't want to say gifted public speakers, but comfortable, speaking to people they don't know and talking to strangers, and things like that. I mean, not like talking to strangers, but like, when you're in a big setting and people are talking to your children and they like hide behind you because they're shy. I just really wanted to address that and kind of make them more comfortable with talking to people that they don't know. So we started out the first couple weeks, and I had planned out all of these really cute activities, like a grab bag and like a mystery bag, and so like show and tell, creating a story, or telling me a memory that they have, or something like that. And again, we did that for a few weeks, and then that just completely, it just went away, and it never came back. And so looking back now, I realized that I was just overscheduling. And And then I had a recess. I had a recess planned in here, and we kind of stuck to this just because my son is a 5-year-old boy, and he has lots of energy, and when it's hard for him to focus, I get really frustrated. And so that did stay, and so I definitely told my husband that this was like something that we needed to have in our homeschool, was like a recess or a break time. So then the Christian studies did stay. We did that twice a week, so I have that marked twice a week. But then if you can see in these three, I have so I have like chores and free time, and then our loop topic. These were our loop topics, which basically meant every quarter we were going to focus on something different. And so the first quarter I had computer lab. So like in the public school system, your kids go to computer lab and they learn how to use the computer and just how to kind of navigate through that. The second quarter we were going to do piano, and this was just a very, very rustic, basic understanding of the piano. We weren't going to go over like musical theory or notes or what each tempo or anything like that. Basically, it was getting used to touching the keys and memorizing just a really small selection of songs. The third quarter was going to be cooking. My children love to help me in the kitchen, and so I was like, hey, why not dedicate, a time of our school day where it's just dedicated to cooking. And I had all of these really nice recipes picked out, and the kids were going to learn about measuring, and they were going to learn about kitchen safety. And at the end of the quarter, their final or whatever was going to be that my son would make a pizza all by himself, with the pre-made pizza dough, and then he would have to put on the sauce and the cheese and all of that. And I got really excited about it. And then last was building. My son has started to show, probably for the past year, that he is kind of inclined to architecture. And so with that, I was like, well, again, why not put that into our homeschool schedule so that we can start building on his passion. And again, that was something, I will say, we did stick to piano because it did fall around Christmas time. And so what I really wanted to do was have on Christmas Eve, have him play a song for the family that came. And so he did memorize Jingle Bells on the piano. And so we did do piano. But everything else it never happened. We did 2 or 3 lessons for the computer lab part, again, before my symptoms of the first trimester kicked in. But then we never picked it up again. And we never went to cooking, and we never went to building. Now he has a lot of building sets that he plays with for recess and stuff, or just when we're done with school. He does have a lot of building sets, and so it wasn't like it made it into our day, but he still was able to do that. And so also with our curriculum, it is a classical method. It's like a classical curriculum, and so there was a lot of recitation that happened, and memory work. And again, that never happened. We got about 3 or 4 weeks in, and then once I just started feeling terrible, we just stopped. We just stopped. And I don't think that they missed anything as far as education, because again, he was still getting that minimum viable day where we were doing math every day, phonics and reading every day. And so as far as those kinds of things, that's fine. But I just put so much store into this at the beginning of the year that I got really burnt out. Really quick. Again, I don't know if that was the pregnancy or if it was just the burnout, that of what comes from over planning your homeschool. So basically all I wanted to say is that if you are a first-time homeschooling parent, do not overschedule your day. Do not create an entirely planned out schedule with time slots and all of those things, because I can almost guarantee you that you're going to find out, like I did, that life happens. And part of the beauty of homeschooling is that you don't have to separate life and school. They can mesh into one. And because homeschooling is so flexible, you can weave your day around your life. Now, if I had known that at the beginning, I probably would not have overscheduled our day like that. And I wish that I would have kind of retrospectively not made a schedule with time slots, maybe just been like, okay, so these are the subjects that I want to do today, and when we get them done, we get them done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily like 9 o'clock to 9:45 is going to be this, because sometimes we got finished at 9:15, sometimes it went over. Like, there's no way to tell when you're starting out how long things are going to take. And so one of my huge failures and probably biggest regrets of this year, my first year of homeschooling, is to make one of these really elaborate schedules. Now, maybe in the future when we just have figured out our life pattern and all of the kids are kind of like in the routine together, maybe I can go back to something similar to this. But I think for right now, we're just going to be really flexible, especially with the new baby coming in a few weeks. I think that next year is just going to be, again, just another learning curve for me as not a first-time homeschooling parent, but a new one. I'm still trying to navigate these waters of what works for our family and definitely what doesn't work for our family. So I just thought that I would make this video. Hopefully, if you kind of were in the boat that I was and overscheduled your day or overscheduled, your homeschool and you got burnout, take heart, because there are things that you can get rid of and your kid will still get a real quality education from you, and I heard somewhere, I don't remember where it is, I might have read it, I don't know, but basically we're giving our children the best education that doesn't even include books, just by doing life with them. And that's the point of homeschooling, is to do life with your kids so that we can show them, how life happens and things like that. So that's my failure. Again, it basically, my schedule fell apart, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say it or disappointed in myself, but life happens and you gotta kind of roll with it. So thank you for letting me be transparent with you and open with you, and I hope that my tale of woe, as it were, can serve as some kind of a warning maybe to a first-time parent, homeschooling parent. So thank you for watching, and I will make another video soon. Bye!